right here. The Avengers were supposed to be different than S.H.I.E.L.D.
Anybody remember when I carried a nuclear wormhole?
No, it's never come up.
Save New York?
Never heard that.
Recall that? A hostile alien army came charging through a hole in space. We're standing 300 feet below it.
We're the Avengers. We can bust arms dealers all the livelong day, but that up there, that's the Endgame.
Okay, I've seen everyone jump on this marvelous moment movement, and as you should know, I'm a huge fan of film analysis, and I just couldn't resist. Because I'm so late in joining the marvelous scene, I'm going to make this brief. So with no further ado, I'm Cory Hunter, and this is our film school, where I believe we can learn about movies by watching them. So I checked out a lot of marvelous scene videos. Now, out of all the films in the MCU, Age of Ultron don't get much shine. What I'm saying is, despite no one ever claiming it to be bad, it's never on any fan's top 5 Marvel film list. And I get it. Marvel do have a lot of good films out here, but I believe Age of Ultron is underrated, especially now with Endgame closing a chapter in the MCU. Let's say we wanted to give someone a crash course of the entire MCU, of everything that happened up to Endgame. Of those 22 movies, let's say we make a real skeleton timeline of things, and give that person 5 Marvel movies they must watch. Age of Ultron would have to be a part of those 5 movies. So it may not be the favorite, but it is one of the more necessary Marvel movies in terms of timeline. Why? Because it sets up so much that pays off in Endgame. It's a direct prequel to Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Now talking about marvelous moments, it gave us the birth of Vision, it gave Hawkeye a real backstory, it gave us the hammer scene, it gave us one of the dopest speeches in the MCU.
That's it.
So dope was the speech, they named the movie in honor
We're
of
standing
it.
300 feet below it.
We're the Avengers. We can bust arms dealers all the livelong day, but that up there, that's the Endgame.
It introduced Wakanda. This is the glory years of the Avengers, before everything went south. We still got the Avengers Tower, Thor still had both his eyes and Asgard was still around, Cap restored S.H.I.E.L.D., Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Quicksilver joined the team, giving us something that resembled the classic lineup. We know where most of the stones are. Tony is Tony. It's good versus, well, Ultron. And it's in this moment they seem invincible. And it's the last time the entire Avengers assemble until, well, yeah. And the movie does other things. But in a nutshell, Age of Ultron is out here. But what is that marvelous moment I wanted to speak about? Well, it's this one. When Iron Man has this vision. Not that one, but this one. Tony Stark's story is at the heart of the MCU. Others have grown in popularity, but none could take his spot. Now, of all the cool things Age of Ultron did, it gave a foreshadowing of every character's story arc. But this moment is more than just a foreshadowing of things to come for Tony. It's the foreshadowing of the entire MCU. And the single most important moment that motivates Tony moving forward. The fear of failure drives him because of the stakes involved. He understands the seriousness of the coming threat in a way the others don't. When we look at Tony, all his villains are mirror images of him. Warmonger is what he could have became if consumed by corruption. Whiplash and Hammer and Killian what he could have become if consumed by greed. Ultron is who he is without his humanity. And then we have Thanos. That's right, more so than being the villain for the entire MCU, he's the villain of Tony. It's in this moment Tony knows what's at stake. He knows what he must do and can't be convinced otherwise, even if he must use the stones to do it. Sounds familiar? Both Tony and Thanos are on a holy war to save the universe. Both are haunted by their visions. Their clash is inevitable, and this is the moment that sets it all up. This is Tony Stark given a new purpose. This moment leads to the most philosophical question asked in the MCU. Who watches the Watchmen? Should anyone have the authority to play God? Who determines what's the greater good? It's because we understand Tony so much in this moment. We understand him so well. This moment sets up the greatest formula for the biggest, baddest villain in the MCU up to date. Because how can we really blame Thanos for this when we saw and supported Tony?
I see a suit of armor around the world.
Sounds like a cold world, Tony.
I've seen colder.
I got eyes on the prize.
Titan was like most planets. Too many mouths, not enough to go around. And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Genocide.
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman. And what I predicted came to pass.
Congratulations, you're a prophet
I'm a survivor.
who wants to murder trillions.
You could have saved us. I'm a piping hot mess. It's been going on for a while. I haven't said anything. Why didn't you do more? Nothing's been the same since New York.
Oh, really? Well, I didn't notice that at all.
You experience things, and then they're over, and you still can't explain them. Gods, aliens, other dimensions. I'm just a man in a can. The only reason I haven't cracked up is probably because you moved in, which is great. I love you. I'm lucky. But honey, I can't sleep. You go to bed, I come down here. I do what I know. I tinker. Threat is imminent, and I have to protect the one thing that I can't live without. That's you. And my suits, they're
Machines.
part of me. And I'm the man who killed the Avengers. There was no other way. I didn't tell the team. How could I? So I'm all dead, Nick. Felt it. The whole world, too. It's because of me. Wasn't ready. I didn't do all I could. I wasn't tricked. I was shown. It wasn't a nightmare. It was my legacy. The end of the path I started us on. Watching my friends die. You'd think that'd be as bad as it gets, right? Nope. Wasn't the worst part.
The worst part
Is that you didn't. Tell me his name again.
Thanos. He's a plague, Tony. He invades planets, he takes what he wants, he wipes out half the population. He sent Loki. The attack on New York, that's him.
This is it. You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
Stark.
You know me?
I do. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
My only curse is you.